Hello, everyone, and welcome to the end. And joining me, as always, are Nani and Patsave.
Merry Festivus.
Hey!
Indeed, and as I'm sure you've all noticed, today is in fact Festivus, or Festivus Eve if you prefer. But as in order to be inclusive, we have generously allowed all of our holidays and all of your holidays to be blended together into a fine paste and spread evenly over the special to create our very special Merry Holidayween event. Indeed. But this actually brings up a thing. I don't know if this is a thing in Canada. But
Oh boy.
you know about the irritation that some people feel about the use of Happy Holidays and Merry Christmas and all that in general stores and government things and such and such and so and so.
Yes,
I
we have
feel
had
like
that.
that is very much an American thing.
It's
No,
very,
it's been going on here as well. I know it started, I want to think, 99, 2000 or so is when I started experiencing it, where it was like school Christmas concert ended up like changing to holiday concerts and all that. And being a young myself, I was kind of confused as to why it had to change.
Of course. I understand, and you know what? You are right to be confused because, ladies and gentlemen, there is a war. A war on Happy Holidays. It is a war that all good people must fight. A war to protect the use of Happy Holidays as basically a pretty decent way of covering all holidays without having to get all awkward and trying to list them all. Because inevitably, we are going to forget some. And it's a mouthful.
I am all for Happy Holidays. I
I-
do not understand why America gets so in its bunches about wanting to keep Christmas.
I am in the camp of I don't care.
Indeed, but listen to me, dear friends, because this is not an issue that you can be apathetic on. This is an issue of principles. This country, that being the one that you two don't live in, was built on certain principles. Principles of happy holidays. Principles of being basically alright with yourself in the world. Principles of holidays existing and happening around a certain point in the year. Certain multiple points in the year, as we have very aptly proven with our various holiday-themed episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an attack not only on Happy Holidays as a generic phrase to use when talking about the holidays as a general thing, specifically regarding winter. It is also an attack on the very fundamental principles of what one of the three of our countries stands for. By
Isn't it one of the
George.
two of our countries?
But no, because the two of the three of us are not in America, so therefore, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Canada, I assume, was founded on some sort of, I don't know.
We were
Thanksgiving, probably.
founded on the properties of moose riding and maple syrup.
Ah, there you go.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Which, I mean, how would you feel if people decided that you could no longer, that, the simple and pleasant greeting of Happy Syrup Day had to be replaced once again with Happy Tree Bark Day, as it was back in Pilgrim times?
As long as they're taking the time to, wish me well, I am okay with that.
You Canadians are far
pretty, okay with most things like that.
Canada
This
is
is
far
why-
too relaxed. There's a war!
This is why I'm very apathetic for this. As long as somebody is taking the time to wish me a happy day, I don't care what they're wishing. As long as they're taking the time to be courteous, that's fine.
By George, how can you say such things?
Because
Patsy,
it happens. I am fine with going to the store saying Happy Holidays. They say Merry Christmas back. I smile, I walk out. Or I walk up to somebody. I say Merry Festivus. They say Happy Hanukkah. We go our separate ways and all is good.
But
I have a slightly more complicated feeling on this issue.
Oh,
From
there we go.
individuals, I don't mind hearing Merry Christmas or whatever holiday they celebrate and assume I celebrate too. But for things like events, I really prefer holiday party to Christmas party or things like that.
There
It
you
just
go.
feels more respectful.
There you go. And that's the type of fiery passion that drives on the very idea of an ongoing endless war, a conflict between two great nations in which blood has been spilled time and time again, presumably, I'm not sure, probably not. It requires that kind of commitment and passion that you bring to the table, not only, but you, Pad Save, do not.
It's okay. I'll sit in
We
the
all
corner
need to
drinking my
solve
eggnog.
this problem by boycotting coffee by going and buying more coffee.
Exactly. We have to fight this by going to
Wait.
coffee shops and asking for coffee cups and then having other things written on them as some
Wait,
sort
okay.
of...
I am now
protest.
very conflicted.
Oh, you don't like coffee?
No, I love coffee, so
Oh,
I can't
good.
boycott coffee. But you
No,
want me
that's
to...
No, we are boycotting
Boycott it
coffee.
by buying more than you usually would.
Yeah, no, this is actually a tact used in the ongoing siege on the concept of Happy Holidays, in
This
which...
is actually what happens. Like, we're not even making this up as
yeah,
a joke.
okay, actually,
In
like...
America, people boycott Starbucks by going and buying more Starbucks.
Yeah, no, this is actually a thing. I have a friend of mine when I was living
Sorry,
in...
Starducks.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, my friend was barista at Starbucks or Star Coffee Shop that is unnamed. But they had to serve coffee to people and like around the holiday time. Obviously, Starbucks. If you haven't heard about this, Starbucks famously declared war on Christmas by taking snowflakes off their cups and instead making them red. Because
They used to have like something like Merry Christmas written on the cups, but
No,
then they just made
yeah.
them a generic holiday design.
No, it wasn't even that. It was literally they used to have like snowflakes on them. Like they used to have winter decorations on the cups and then they just made them red.
Oh
See-
my, I'm scandalized.
This is where I don't get it, because the non-named national coffee chain north of the border will yearly change their holiday cups. So like every year it's a new design. This year it was like, depending on which one you got, it was either like a white sweater with red accents or a red sweater with white accents.
Well, that
Oh
sounds-
really? I haven't seen the new holiday cups yet.
And this
I
is
thought
I'm
when it
assuming,
used to be hockey, because
Yeah.
that's what Canada's all about.
Yeah, and
Timothy
then, like, this-
Houston's.
Say what now?
Timothy Houston's, I assume, as a brand.
Oh
That is a
yes, Timothy Houston's, yes.
generic made-up brand name for something that we all basically know what we're talking about.
Jim Norton's.
Jim. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, I love my Jimmies.
But okay, so right, so Star Coffee chain, changed their coffee cups from something that was basically kind of just generic winter theme to something that was just kind of generic.
I never realized that it was actually like generic to begin with, and people are still making a fuss about it. That makes the whole thing so much more entertaining to me.
Yeah, actually, hold on, Star.
I'm actually
Coffee.
kinda-
I'm going to quickly just look at the old holiday.
Yes, find the designs and show them on the screen for the viewers at
Yeah,
home.
well, like just because these things are covered in logos, I'm not going to do that. But
And
I'm
then
just
link
going
it to me so I can understand.
Okay, so here we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. So from what I can see, like, here's the. Oh my God! There's a horrible, loud, squealing sound above me. It's driving me insane.
I can hear it a little bit.
It's much louder for me. I deliberately turned down the microphone so it won't pick up quite as strongly. But dear God, it's so loud.
I thought it was just my
Ringing.
tinnitus kicking in.
Actually, oh Lord, sweet Jimblies.
Oh, poor Duhad.
It's like a dog. I feel like a dog. The dogs are freaking out too. Oh, it's probably
dogs,
like
they
it's probably
know.
like the heating oil thing. Like this usually has. Okay, I'm going to put it up on
Oh wow,
screen.
these are really generic designs.
Yeah, no, like these are. I'm gonna put these up on screen after all for the people. Oops, let me remove that. That's That's a joke for a different series.
I can't read the second one. It looks like that actually has something that it says on it, but I mean they look pretty generic.
Oh wait, this is the same picture again. Why don't I name things? Oh God, it's so loud. Why? Why would it be so loud?
See, the way I see this, it's because they're not just showing a regular coffee. They have like some kind of fancy drink in it. I see it as it's the progression of the same drink throughout the years.
Okay,
and I am very disappointed that 2011 had chocolate chips, but nobody else did.
Okay,
I think that the chocolate chips would be a trend that they try to keep.
It's a different beverage every time.
Okay, here we go. So, generic coffee cup, blah blah blah. Okay, so I'll actually look a little bit closer to see if I can see what it says. Okay, so the 2009 cup says "Wish and Hope" on little ornaments, which are technically kind of Christmas themed in that they are they're Christmas tree ornaments, but again, it's not terribly lid. The 2010 cup has nothing Christmas themed at all. It's literally just, it says "Stories are gifts," and just has people having a snowball fight.
Oh, that's what it says.
That almost looks like a Santa though on the side. Or I could just be crazy.
No, it's like a lady. And then 11 kind of has someone with maybe Santa hat, but I think it's supposed to be just a generic winter cap because they're riding on a sleigh with their dog.
Yeah, it's just winter activities.
Yeah, and then 2012 is a snowman. And then 2013, again, you could kind of say that's kind of supposed to be like Christmas tree decorations, maybe.
Yeah.
And then 2014 is just sort of generic patterns that don't really mean anything.
It's a snowflake pattern.
Oh yeah, snowflake pattern. So then 2015, when people freaked the hell out, they took away the snowflake pattern, and suddenly these generic cups that were kind of sort of Christmas, sort of winter theme before, became just generic red cups, and people lost their damn minds. Despite the fact that red, white, and green are kind of Christmas colors anyway. Okay,
I just think that it's entirely non-offensive, and I am very amused at the people who may or may not have certain religions who get annoyed by this generic red cup.
Well, yeah, it's people getting the thing I find actually genuinely kind of ridiculous about it. I mean, pretty much my actual reaction is that I don't really mind that much either way, but I wouldn't care if it was religiously themed. If it was explicit religiously themed, I'd probably still be basically fine with it. It's their own company, they can do what they want. But the thing that amuses me is not the fact that it's that what they've done is offensive, but that it's not specific enough for some people, and so it's no, I'm offended at the fact that this is non-offensive.
Well, it's almost to the point now where everybody trying to not offend anybody is just kind of as a whole is now offensive.
Yeah, the idea
we've done a 180. It's kind of humorous now.
Yeah,
I legitimately don't understand people who are against political correctness. My goodness, what is wrong with you?
It's a weird idea that people have that we're getting too nice to one another, and then it's getting us to the point where...
That's a horrible thing!
I know, it's kind of I don't know, I know people who are genuinely, annoyed at some of the stuff, but, I always kind of feel okay, so you hate the fact that you're supposed to be nice to people, so you'd rather we just... if people were just assholes to one another. I'm okay with,
I think where some of the stuff is coming now is that with all that, it's getting to the point where you're not always being, mean-spirited or angry to people, but used to being able to call people out on the bad stuff they were doing, or just in general, being able to call them out on it. And now it's to the point where you can't say what you can't call a spade because then you might offend somebody.
True, but there's also the flip side of it, which is the whole anti-political correctness thing has gone so far to the point where now if you call someone out for saying something genuinely offensive, they will then get offended at the fact that you're trying to be overly politically correct. It's hey, that's a horribly racist word you just used. Oh, I bet you're only just saying that because you want to be politically
Social
correct.
justice warriors have
It's like,
infected
no,
your
it's-
brain with their feminist agendas. That is what happens.
It kind of does, but anyway,
People hate to be inconvenienced so much that they're not willing to learn or even listen to be like to make one small change. It's really terrible.
Now they want to like actively fight it. Like you want to not like oh jeez like like it's like what I find ridiculous is the fact that like there's a lot of people who will get offended not because you are inconveniencing that, like because they feel inconvenienced, but because they feel like there's a chance that they might be inconvenienced by something. It's like, hey, I'm not super cool with you saying that, and then someone else will just come in and say like, hey, I don't really like what they said, but I think that the fact that you're saying that they shouldn't say that is really annoying. It's like
I don't understand why everyone is so concerned with making sure that they can say whatever the heck they want at the expense of other people.
People are jerks. I don't know. Anyway, jeez, I don't even like. I don't know. You know the weird thing about this is. You know the really weird thing about this is, like genuinely. So. I am at this moment getting slightly uncomfortable because I'm vaguely worried about people who are anti PC becoming annoyed at the fact that we're talking negatively about PC things. Like I'm becoming like
oh, you think you're gonna get trolled because people are gonna be mad that we have feminist agendas?
No, it's not even that I'm worried about being trolled. I'm worrying about inconveniencing people who are pissed off about people being worried about inconveniencing people.
I'm sorry, but I am all here for inconveniencing people who don't believe in political correctness. Like, yes, I'm going to force my agenda on you. You came into my court. This is what you get.
Well, that's totally fair. It's just like I think it's kind of funny the fact that like I'm like, oh boy, I don't want to I don't want to like come down too hard on anyone. Like people who hate the idea of being political you
hate the idea of being inclusive to the other humans on this planet. Get off the planet.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like it's like I'm wording this badly, but okay. I think I found the right wording. Is I am now worrying about not being inclusive enough to people who are pissed off at inclusiveness. Like that is how freakishly inclusive I try to be.
I feel you on that because I'm always trying to be nice too, but I no longer have time for jerks who do not share my desire to be nice to other human beings.
No, that's totally valid. In fact, I think that's a lot more respectable than my hyper neurotic awareness of everyone who I might be annoying.
I mean, sometimes as a girl, you have to put up with a lot of things from people who are not very nice. And there's a point where you hit the cap and you just stop entertaining that because you're too frustrated anymore.
I totally feel you. I totally feel you. But sorry, Patty, if we're now offending you and your strongly held anti politically correct,
I never said I was anti-political.
No,
wait, at this point, I don't even.
Interest.
With all of these double negatives now, I don't even know where I'd end up standing if I went through with that sentence. So I'm just going to stay here in the corner, hold my coffee, and drink.
I get you. But anyway, so getting...
And be jealous that you have coffee and I don't.
Oh, man, I should make some coffee. I'm tired. But, okay, so anyway, what I was going to say, though, was just getting back to what I was trying to get to was... with the coffee cups, was I have a friend who was working as a barista at Starbucks, and people would come by and like very like aggressively get in his face and just be like, I want to order a cup of coffee and I want the name on it to be Merry Christmas. You have a problem with that? Be like, no. Here's your coffee. Get the hell out of my face.
I really don't understand that. Like, you can ask for whatever name you want, sure, but like, why is it like? Well, I just don't get it. It's like
a thing of like people, and this is a customer service gripe. Like, this is a general customer service gripe. because I've worked in customer service before, and I, to an extent, that's kind of still what I'm doing, kind of. But it's
you
a
saint.
thing. Yeah, it's a thing that you kind of run into a lot with it, where the company will do something that annoys the customers, or annoys the people who, like the clients or whatever, depending on what scale you're working for.
Mm-hmm.
But, like the people get annoyed, and then they get short-tempered or like try and like make a point to like the low-level employees who have no real like stakes in anything.
Oh, I hate that. It makes me feel so bad when I see people do that.
Yeah. So you get the thing with like my friend getting like aggressively like confronted over the fact that he's serving coffee cups from a big box that the company sent him that they don't approve of, and therefore like they want to like challenge them. They want to get into a fight with this barista who works minimum wage over the cups that
people
they
feel
were
way
to
too
do.
entitled to service workers' time and energy, and it's just not fair.
Yeah. Again, and a similar thing happens on like basically any level. Like it's not just it's not just baristas at coffee shops. Like I mean, I work in like insurance talking with doctors and stuff, and I can't obviously get into any details about any of our clients because that would be horribly illegal. But like there are plenty of situations where unnamed individuals will have problems with company that I am not naming, and will basically go like, now you listen to me, this can like company has caused me this headache, and I know that you're not the one who can deal with the problem, but I want you to like write a personal letter to your bosses and tell them exactly this, exactly this complaint. It's like, okay.
I'm just cringing so much because I know exactly what you mean. I don't work in that kind of industry, obviously. I mean, I don't work, but my aunt is that person who does that, and to some extent, I know other people who do that too. And anytime I'm just like, oh my god, how can you do this to another human being? I'm so like, please don't do this.
No, I totally get you. But yeah, it's annoying. It's fine. I mean, like if you're the type of person who does it, I'm not going to like smack you in the face and be like, you jerk. Because I mean, like I get it. I try and be civil with all, like basically with everyone who I have to deal with on like a lower level. I really try hard not to ever lose my temper, but I get
again. You're
frustrated
such a saint, dear.
Oh, thank you. But like the thing is, like I do get frustrated. Like I try not to take it out on anyone, but I do like quietly get frustrated and be like, okay, thank you, I really appreciate that, but like inside my head, I'm like, God, I'm so annoyed. And I get, people wanting to. I mean, like it's easy to want to lash out at the most obvious and easy target. It's just that usually those targets are also the people who have the very least impact on what you're annoyed about.
The unfortunate thing too is generally these people that you're lashing out at, they have the same opinion on this thing, but they have no ability to change it. I mean, this is their livelihood.
Yep.
And that's why I just internalize everything. Patty doesn't get mad.
Yeah, I do too.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing
Like
wrong.
I feel so bad when we're like at the doctor's, the hospital or whatever, and my mom is getting mad at the nurses because like nothing works with the medical system here. It's kind of messy, but I'm just like the poor nurses, because they totally agree with you that it's all messed up, but they can't do anything about it. They're just nurses.
Yeah, no, it's like, and that's always like the suckiest part is like, especially like like when you work in like in an industry like healthcare, where like you hear about things happening and it's like, wow, the company doing this is horrible. Like that's really bad. I don't approve of that at all. But I mean, it's not like you can like, I mean, aside from being able to say like, yeah, no, that's terrible. I don't agree with it. It's not like you can be like, that's terrible. Let me go ahead and fix that problem for you real quick. Like, we'd love to. We just can't. That's, it's not
It's just not possible.
Yeah. Like, unless we went off and created our very own medical system or insurance company or etc., we can't actually go ahead and like make sweeping like top-down changes. So, sorry.
Well, if you can't make the top-down changes here at the bottom, then who can?
I don't know.
Write a letter to the company head, people, if you're gonna get that much fuss.
Yeah, like I think like,
or your governor or whatever thing you do when it's something that's state done.
Yeah.
Or province, I guess.
I think in America it's mostly county by county to state by state.
Anyway, there's more important people you can take these things out on than low-level workers.
Yeah, call your senator.
But I need my instant gratification of getting mad at the only people I can. Those minimum wage slaves. How do I sustain that need if I can't?
Fair point.
And the thing is, you don't have any choice but to listen to you too. It's really just like you know what you're doing, and you're doing it anyway. It's so sadistic.
But I like hearing the sound of my own voice, so I need to get my fulfillment for like getting mad at these people. Sorry, I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here.
I know, I'm just kidding.
And it's very hard to say any of this with meaning.
I know, it's just not Canadian, is it?
No, I totally get you, Pat. And like, you know, I always try and play devil's advocate whenever I feel like one side's getting a little too, you know, smacked down on. But like the problem with playing devil's advocate is every now and then you have to play the devil. You know, you have to be like, oh, well, the thing about racists is, I don't want to defend these people.
Yeah, see, Nani's never going to play devil's advocate on this show because I'm just like, nope. My opinion is strong and I'm going to force it on everyone.
See, I figure if you can do it with like enough sarcasm, then everybody should know that you don't mean it, but you're never quite sure. You're just afraid of that backlash.
Well, I mean, every episode we do is really sarcastic, so I have to assume that everyone actually knows that you both agree with whatever the good opinion is, but...
True. Though you never know. Poe's law is a thing. Sometimes, you know, like, things get so completely out of hand in terms of, like, just vile opinions that people like to be able to share when they see no repercussions for their actions that you start going like, wait a minute, is that a ridiculous parody or a genuinely horrifying like notion?
Oh,
For the record, Duhad and Friends is a parody, and any opinions expressed herein are not the opinions of these two kids.
I'm trying to remember what it is. I know it's not a rule of the internet. It's like an actual like.
Post law.
Yeah, where the closer you get to something to parody, the more people will think it's sincere.
Yeah, it's like something about like the point at which parody and sincere belief becomes indistinguishable. Yeah,
where you get stuff almost like a step beyond the onion, where it seems so outlandish that people start taking it as fact.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, like that opinion is so horrifying, it must be a parody, or is it? Like, is it stranger than is this like fiction stranger than truth, or is this truth stranger than fiction? Like,
oh my god, you're making me think of some great examples that I'm not sure if I want to mention.
Go ahead.
Or is it truth than fiction of fiction?
I need a lot of those little arrows, the greater than less than arrows.
I can think of a couple times when I've been reading stuff online and I've seen things like, did you guys see when the post about the man talking about how to talk to a woman who has earphones in was going around?
No, I didn't hear about that at all.
Oh my goodness. Well, it was not parody, but it really read like parody to the point that so many people were confused. Anyway, a man was giving advice on his blog or some website that is like a news blog, but with opinion pieces and such. And it was a big thing about how to talk to women who have earbuds in, like when a girl's taking a jog or whatever, and she's wearing headphones, so she can't necessarily hear you. Like, how to get the attention of a girl who's put headphones in, specifically not to hear you, going around doing her thing, and try to, like, hit on this human, and it was just like everyone was like, "This is a joke, right?" No, it was not a joke. But it also reminds me of the time I linked. Well, one of my friends just asked me what men's rights is, and I'm like, "Don't like." We Googled it, and he was like, "This is a joke, right?" I'm like, "No, these websites are not a joke. This is a thing."
No, I heard a friend recently talking about.
Don't read MRA websites, kids. It will make you cry for humanity.
No, I heard a friend talking about like MRA like stuff recently, and I was genuinely unsure as to whether they were like ironically or like jokingly talking about like some of the stuff and like defending some of the stuff, or if they were genuinely doing it. I was like, how far have I allowed this group? Like, how far have I allowed the people that I, am friends with to feel totally comfortable with, like, horrifying jokes and like border and like post law level parody, like sarcasm and parody, to the point where like I genuinely don't even know if the people that I am closest to anymore are like secretly like just leading into. So, really, the thing about the Holocaust is, do we know it happened?
Oh my God, no, not those humans, no!
I've been stunned. You'd be stunned how many times I have, like, been talking to someone, and I swear to God, like, this always comes up in the exact same way, like, to the extent where I actually think it's kind of almost hilarious. Like, it's like this weird clockwork thing. I'll be talking to someone, and they'll like lead in with some sort of thing about like, oh yeah, I have this joke about like, not me, like they will have like some joke about like Nazis or something. I'll be like, oh, it's a little uncomfortable. Yeah, it's a little weird. And they're like, oh, don't worry, it's not going. Yeah, and they're like, oh, don't worry,
Nazis are not funny.
No, but like here's the thing, they'll be like, oh well, like it's not really crossing the line that much. Hey, don't get like too sensitive about it, la 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 la. Like,
I love it when people tell you how sensitive you're allowed to be about something.
Yeah, but like
that is my favorite.
Here's the thing, because again, this has happened to me like multiple times, and they'll be like, yeah, no, but I mean, like obviously, like okay, like the autocratic systems, nothing really. I mean, like the idea of having like one person it's not really that bad of an idea ultimately. I mean, like people are dumb and stuff. Like it wouldn't be that bad to have like one really good leader. I'm like, I suppose so, and like. I mean, like, you'd end up with a situation like the Nazis, and they're like, well, I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, like, I think people can get a little sensitive about them. Like, oh, well, I had a neo-Nazi once try and shoot me, so I'm a little biased.
Oh my goodness.
And like, again, this is the exact same line happens every time when I run into someone who's actually a Nazi, which has happened a shocking number of times. They will always say, after I talk about how I was almost shot by a neo-Nazi, quote, oh yeah, but neo-Nazis really give Nazis a bad name. They're not real Nazis.
Are we allowed to curse on here now?
Sure, go ahead.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, and like, I'll be like, and they'll be like, yeah, I mean, like, really... I mean, the Nazis. I mean, if you read what Hitler was like talking about, like, I mean, it really is actually, it's really blown out of proportion. I'm like, Oh
my goodness!
Like, so you're,
I would just die. Like, what? How are these? What?
It's a genuine thing.
It's a terrible place. But no.
No, I know. Like, it's happened to me. Like that exact scenario has happened to me like 2 or 3 times.
Oh my goodness, you poor precious thing.
It's jeez. It's like that's kind of like the thing where it's like I always try and be like nice and try and be understanding and stuff, but like once you cross over into full blown, so really honestly, I don't have like the Nazis weren't necessarily wrong, and also, like genuinely getting into like creepy stuff about their opinions on Israel and international Judaism.
Oh god.
It's like okay, I'm gonna just, there's the door over there. I don't want to get shot again, so I'm gonna walk out of it.
Abandoned thread.
Abandoned life. Like, what the heck? No.
Abort.
That is so awful. It shocks me how little people know about that kind of stuff. Like, this stuff didn't happen that long ago.
people, I think it's poor education more than anything else. Like, I think that, like, I still stand by, even with all the crappy people I've known and all the kind of nasty things that I've seen happen in, like, general world events and affairs and stuff, I still stand pretty firmly by the idea that people are, on the whole and in general, basically decent. Like, you know, you get some people who have, you know, problems in their brain or, yeah, various other things that lead to them being maybe a little less decent towards other people, but as a rule of thumb, most people are basically decent. However, poor education.
You have so much more faith in humanity than I do.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, but the thing is just like, you know, poor education or, you know, serious biases being drilled into people by, you know, their environment, etc.
Well, to that point, I do agree with. I feel like everyone is born being decent, but there's a point sometimes at which you can't return from.
Yeah, I mean, I think that most people can be, you know, to some degree, be brought back, but like it is, I think it is a case where like everyone is born decent and has the great potential to be decent, and even people who have terrible beliefs and opinions that I strongly disagree with, I think most of them at the very least try to be good people in as far as they understand good behavior to be. But boy howdy, do some people have some fucked up ideas of what being a good person is.
Oh my god, yes.
So, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I feel bad for America and the kind of people that, well, I know people in Canada can be pretty crappy too, but to be in favor of Nazis is a little extreme.
It's a bit on the far end. But Patty, you've been kind of quiet on all this. I do again apologize. I know that these are opinions that
Bring
you
us some
hold
more
near and dear to your
cheerful
heart,
thought, Patty. The show needs to be saved.
Well, what was it? Either yesterday or the day before, there was a Zamboni that went through a Canadian coffee chain drive-through.
Oh boy, that's.
How did they get the Zamboni through the drive?
Does
What?
it drive?
It just
Yeah.
fits?
Yeah, I have a link for the video. Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
in outside of Edmonton. I guess Buddy was taking the Zamboni from the rink, and he was taking it to do his own outdoor rink on his property. And on the way, he's like, I want to go through the drive-through, so he did.
I am so in favor of this. This is so Canadian. I mean, do they even have Zambonis in America? That's pretty damn Canadian.
We do,
They-
but pretty much only for ice rink cleaning.
But like being able to take the Zamboni home to do your own rink, that's pretty awesome.
That's great.
I
That's
want a Zamboni to do the rink that we have. Well, we don't have a rink, we have a lake. But actually, a Zamboni on a lake is probably a really bad idea.
that
Well,
could lead to problems.
Not necessarily if it's cold enough and the ice is thick enough.
True. I'm just worried about people being dumb and accidentally taking their Zambonis out on the lake when it's not safe and ultimately suffering horrible Zamboni-related accidents.
Now,
I will
now,
be very
but see,
honest with you. Canadians do not understand ice. Like, we see ice and we're like, hey, it's ice. We don't really understand that some ice is more solid than other ice, and you will see people walking on melting ice, and I'm just like, oh my god, please have more concern for your life.
Okay, so
But see, like the real ice aficionados will know where, you know, at least kind of like the rough maths included to be like, okay, we've had like a snap this cold for this long, so this body of water should have roughly like this much ice. This much ice is good enough to hold like me, so I should be able to go across even if it's like a little melty on top. Now, what you have to worry about, because the people driving the Zambonis, especially if they're going to take it to like their personal lakes or ponds, they should be like almost like master degree levels of ice aficionados, so they should know this stuff. What you have to worry about is them afterwards taking that Zamboni off-roading.
yeah.
Like that is like
Do people off-road in Zambonis?
Oh, there's like a circuit dedicated to Zamboni 4x4ing.
Why would you... Can a Zamboni even 4x4? What would it do?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's, you know, like where you have like Jeeps a Jeep can go off-roading,
Yes.
but if you really want to go off-roading with a Jeep, you need to do other stuff to it. You need to like lift it up, get the big, the big mud tires so it can grab traction. You have to put like skid plates and all that underneath. You have to do kind of the same thing with a Zamboni.
Oh my
The
goodness.
only issue is because the Zamboni at its core is still an ice resurfacer. You still have to make sure that the ice resurfacing bit, the area that's underneath Buddy's seat, you still have to make sure that can kind of go down far enough to make sure that it can still resurface things after you're done 4x4. So like you have to be able to bring it up so it's not going to hit anything and damage while you're out on the trails. But you also have to make sure that it can come back down.
This seems like a freaking transformer. Like, what the heck?
Well, and see, that's why, while there is a circuit dedicated for off-road Zamboniing, it's not that great because, for starters, like, a Zamboni itself is super expensive. And then all the modifications needed to get it off-road ready, like, that's... You may as well, like, not do the Zamboni off-road circuit. You can probably do like the normal off-road circuit and have like 2 or 3 good off-road rigs for it.
Right?
But see, this is why it's like for the
Some
super
people are
dedicated.
so determined to be weird and different.
I'll admit I'm happy with the Canadian version of that. Though to all of our Canadian fans out there, please do not drive your Zambonis.
Yes, please do not
outside of the
off-road
ice.
your Zambonis, everyone. That is not a good idea.
As much as Pat Safe has given you excellent advice on how to manage to accomplish
So the
this
image
feat.
of a Zamboni on monster car tires is giving me endless entertainment.
Oh lord, the dogs
I'm
are
not
going
sure if this
insane.
Like, hi doggies.
Yeah, they're always a little bit crazy when it comes to the holiday season because of the people who happen to come around.
Oh, they're so excited and happy.
They are happy, and you should. I hope one day to be able to show off the youngest pup. Someplace.
Take a
She's-
picture and send it to me.
I'll do so. I'll do so because she is
I want to be a dog auntie.
All right, absolutely. I will let you live out that that role. Though you're going to be lucky because she's a bit of a beast when it comes to chewing up various little things being left lying around. So being the fun aunt is probably a lot more fun than being the proud parent.
Yeah, I can just like fawn over her and then not get any of my things chewed. Hooray for me.
Well, anyway, I think we've covered the width and breadth of the holiday adventures, from Zambonis to horrifying political viewpoints to Christmas
Red
cups.
cups.
So I feel like for
Holiday cups, Duhad.
holiday
They're
cups, I am
holiday
terribly
cups.
sorry. I am part of the problem and not part of the solution. But I hope that all of you at home have
See
a.
how good you were about being corrected?
I was.
Everyone, learn a lesson from Saint Duhad.
I want to be canonized, but
That sounds very painful.
but Tish. But I hope that all of you at home have enjoyed this year of To the End, and that you all enjoy a wonderful winter season with friends, family, or just alone, possibly with pets or a nice video. And until the new year, which I'm sure is when we're going to actually have another episode out.
Yes, we're coming
Bye.
back. Yay.
Indeed. I wish you all a happy time, and we'll see you all very soon.